Constance Wooden-Smith is the MSW Extended Time Coordinator, and she's going to join us as well. This is an info session about the Master of Social Work program at the UGA Gwinnett campus. So we're going to go ahead and go through our slides.
Hi, everyone. Welcome. I'm Mrs. Wooden-Smith. I am the coordinator for the Extended Time program. So I'm both on for the online and Gwinnett, but as she said, this is about our Gwinnett campus. So hopefully everyone here today is for our Gwinnett program or has an interest in our Gwinnett program. Hi, I'm Mrs. Wooden-Smith, Mrs. Constance Wooden-Smith. I go by Mrs. Wooden-Smith. Some people just say Professor Wooden-Smith, but I am the Extended Time Coordinator here at the Gwinnett campus. That is the online and Gwinnett programs. But as I said earlier, we're here to talk about the Gwinnett program, which is located here in Lawrenceville, Georgia, right off of Old Peachtree Road. Most people probably have passed by this building. It looks like a office building, but it is where our campus is located. And when you come inside, you know you're at UGA. All right, thank you. And I'm going to go ahead and allow our academic advisor to introduce herself, Mrs. Lorianne Spears.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Lorianne Spears. I go by Mrs. Spears and Miss Spears, whichever you prefer. I am the academic advisor for all students on this campus, including Gwinnett and the online students. It's a pleasure to be here with you this evening. I am new to the group. I started October 2nd, so I'm learning as well as you are. So thank you for coming on, and we hope that you gain the information you need to help you make a decision for a successful future.
Thank you, Ms. Spears. And like I said before, I'm Allison. I am also relatively new. I've been here a couple months now. I am an MSW. I'm the Admissions and Recruitment Coordinator. Prior to this, I have a background working in community mental health. And for several years, I worked as a disability services coordinator in the college setting. So we're going to go through, we're going to talk about UGA. We're going to talk about the MSW program specifically here at UGA and at the Gwinnett campus, about some of the resources and about financial aid. So we're glad that you're here. Thank you for joining us. Why UGA? UGA is ranked consistently among the top universities in the nation. We are also considered one of the most affordable. We have one of the top ranked MSW programs as well, in the top 10th percentile among all MSW degrees nationwide, and we're the highest ranked in the SEC. We are fully accredited by the Council on Social Work Education. That's the accrediting body for all social work programs. And we abide by the NASW Code of Ethics. That's the National Association of Social Workers. So if you want to know more information about these organizations, you can look up CSWE and NASW online if you're not already familiar with those. The reason that's so important is because we're a very values-based profession. Everything that we do in social work is guided by those underlying values that we share. So the values that underpin our program are addressing power and oppression in society, to promote social justice by using evidence-informed practice and advocacy tools, and celebrating diversity. So I know that that's kind of what drew me to social work, is those shared values and those important core values that we all hold. So career opportunities are looking really good for social workers right now. The Department of Labor says that social work employment is expected to grow 9%. You can see some of the organizations that social workers work in. It's a very varied profession. Like, it's very versatile. So we have social workers basically in every facet of society. The Department of Veterans Affairs is one of our biggest employers. We also are in all kinds of healthcare settings, from hospitals to hospice to outpatient. We have social workers in schools, in K through 12, and in colleges, in the criminal justice system, providing mental health services. Social workers are the biggest provider of mental health services in the United States right now. So if you are more interested in what our graduates are doing, that website at the bottom of the screen tells you about the specific jobs that our major graduates are doing. The UGA Career Services keeps track of that and posts it online. So for the research, our faculty are diverse, and they are in a diverse range of research right now. They are very prolific in publishing up-to-date research, and you can see the different areas that they work in. Most students come to us because they have a passion for a particular issue. So we encourage you to look on our website and see what all our faculty are researching and see if there's someone who aligns with your interests that you may want to work with. I'll give you a couple of examples. Dr. Elkins, our MSW program director's research has focused on identifying, preventing, and treating trauma and trauma-related disorders. I know a lot of our clients that we work with have experienced trauma. Dr. Oketch researches human trafficking and directs the Center for Human Trafficking Research and Outreach here at the UGA Social Work, School of Social Work. So that is housed within our School of Social Work. But you can see the various different types of research that are available. And I'm going to let Professor Wooden-Smith talk a little bit about the Gwinnett campus and the resources that are available there. Dr. Wooden-Smith.
I had to unmute myself a little bit. So she's introducing me, but I want to tell you a little bit more about Gwinnett and who is here. So our campus is an adult campus, and I see those are pictures that have been taken, and actually their Learning Resource Center has been totally remodeled. So it doesn't look like that picture anymore. So when you see it, you're going to be like, wow, it's really a relaxing environment. We have the learning resource person who is Dr. Well, he's not a doctor. We call him doctor, but Mr. Charles Christen, who has several degrees, but one of them is adult learning, as well as he's librarian services. He's one of our support people, so he's in the picture there in the middle with the student. We provide all kind of student support, both for your personal needs in terms of our healthy habits, coffee and culture, but we also provide student support services through the campus as well as through the student care and outreach in Athens. You are eligible for and receive the student support services through our counseling services there as well as a student. The one great thing about this campus is because we call him Mr. C, he is here to support you if you're just coming back in and you're really getting into graduate education and you're learning APA style and just really maybe have some struggles sometimes, and professors usually invite him in to support them as they begin each semester to talk about the services and remind you what's available here, to support you as you are matriculating in our program and learning from our various courses that are taught here by great faculty. But one of the things I do want to say, I have seen people, as someone who's been teaching here and working here, this is my 7th year, but I've worked with adult learning for many years and taught children as well as adults. I will say what I am most proud of is that when I see papers, that when people walk in the door and when they leave, they write like a real research written paper. So I really appreciate the strength of growth that we have here by giving you those support services. Also, like we said, free parking is here, computer labs, and a new thing that was added through the School of Social Work. Not every program has it. We loan laptops. So you can do it through the grad school, but we also have a laptop loaner program. So if your laptop breaks or you have some problems and you need a laptop or an iPad, we do have those. Not for every student, but we do have some that we have loaned. And this year it has kind of taken off really well because they were brand new laptops this year. So people did get, some of them who did borrow them were able to get those. And we have, like I said, iPads. We do both Apple and Dell products. So those are some of the resources we provide for you, as well as, like I said, the learning support. We have, when you come do the tour, if you come on campus, for one of any of our times when we have a lunch and learn, or you would be able to do a tour. Also, we do one doing orientation. And these are some of the people who teach here. I'm also one person, and Professor Burrell, who is our field coordinator. We place all of our students. So there are for those who are doing the 3 or 4 year program of study, you do 2 placements, one doing your generalist year and one doing your specialization, which is what you really want to do in terms of area of interest. But we have the same field office that works with everybody in Athens and online is the same field office that works here. It's just that each program has its own field coordinator, and Mrs. Burrell is ours. And she has an extensive history of practice as well, and has been here 7 years as well. Now she's been able to really, as all of us have worked to cultivate some great placements. Most of them we're working to build our paid placements, but most of them are not. But we have over 500 placement resources, and our students are always placed and usually get hired once they graduate. Also, we have Dr. Briggs. He's one of our professors. He teaches in our macro piece, which you usually take in the spring. So he is also here, and Dr. Lowe. Dr. Lowe is one of our professors who's been here longer than all of us. And he was actually previously what I am, the coordinator over the program. And he has been here, and he does great research. All of our professors do great research and will grow your interest in ways you will never know and bring out things in you that you didn't know. And we also introduced earlier Mrs. Lorianne Spears, who is our new academic advisor. So she will be, she is taking over and doing an excellent job of academic advisement and support for our students. So let's talk about the program of study. Now, I mentioned earlier that Gwinnett has a 3 or 4 year, depending on your need. So our program is an evening program. Classes during the fall and spring start at 5:30 and they go to 8:15. Now, the positive thing is class during your first year, if you're on the 3 year program of study, and she's going to show that in a minute, you would have 3 classes, and that would be 3 different nights. And again, just from 5:30 to 8:15. So you're looking at 3 nights a week to come in person. If you're on the 4 year program of study, you lengthen that, and we'll be showing that shortly. It is 2 classes a week. And so you would be, we run a cohort model. So even if you come in fall of 2024, everyone, whether they're doing 3 or 4 year, will be together. So there will be classes you always have with your cohort. And then there'll be times when you're not taking a class. So you will, the next year in the 4 year program, you'll be taking on with the other cohort. But for the most part, you're taking all your classes with the same group of people, except for electives, which are in the summertime. And then we have the Advanced Standing Program. The Advanced Standing is available to anyone who graduated from a CSWE, Council on Social Work Education, accredited school within the last 5 years. And again, it's the same time, 5:30 until 8:15 are our classes. And usually you're taking some of the same classes that the people in the 3 or 4 year program, you are taking the same classes. So it's not like you are, it's just you're not in that cohort, but you're with your cohort of advanced standing. And what I've noticed with advanced standing students, they stick together. It's like if you see one in a class, you see them all. So evening classes, 6 semesters for those who are in advanced standing, all advanced standing programs, whether it's Gwinnett or Athens, they start in the summer. We start at the same time. But now summer semester, this coming summer, which is, we call it a short through semester, it's only 8 weeks. It starts, I believe it's the 6th or the 8th of June, and it goes into August the 2nd. And then we will start, of course, our fall semester, which all of the people in the extended time program who are regular 3 or 4 year, they start in August. So I just want to put that out there. But we'll go ahead and talk about the program of study. So we're going to look at the extended time advanced standing. This is the BSW. For those who have a BSW in the last 5 years, it's 2 years. Athens has a 1 year, but it is full time. It is daytime hours. Ours is evening. So again, here we all have, we stand on our mission and our thinking of social justice. So we teach addressing the basis of power, oppression, social justice, course, Evidence Informed Practice. It's a long name. We call it Proceeds. It's 7218, 4 hours in the summer. Summer courses start at 5:15 and they go until 10. Well, let me tell you, I've been teaching and most professors do not stay that late. Usually it's broken up into both in-person and outside class assignments. So it's not like you're sitting in a classroom on a one night a week for that long. But the Proceeds course also is an e-course. So it is online and you're actually doing the work on your own. That course is for the summer, not for the people in the fall, spring. The people who are starting the summer as advanced standing. And then you have electives of your choice. And the electives you choose are based on your interests or your area of desire, or if you're seeking a certificate, and we'll talk about that later. And then we have the social work practice with individuals, which again, the same course everybody takes in the program in their last year, even if you're in the 3 and 4 years in your last year. And then you have an elective in the fall. And then you have where you get into learning about assessment and diagnoses, assessment and psychopathology course, which is the DSM, which is used for the statistical manual that is used to do coding for assessment of various determination of what it is a person may have as a diagnosis. And then you have evaluation of professional practice, which is a course that everyone takes as well. And then the difference with the advanced standing is in the summer, you would have 3 electives in the following summer, which would be your last summer. And then come that fall, you're in field practice. So that 7225 is your field placement. There's no class with that. You've already done the work early in the year with our field office. They have assigned you, you're interviewed, you've been screened by whoever it is that you have been placed with, because you do interview. And then you will continue that same placement in the spring. And the only thing you have to do to finish the program is your capstone. We do not do a thesis at this in our program. So you do a capstone. And capstone is a class that's every other week. So it runs, you end up attending about 7 to 8 weeks. All right, so let's talk about the extended time 3-year program. Now, the 3-year program is where most of our students land and the largest portion of our students. This is for those people who said, like I was an extended time student. I've been working, I've been doing my life. Or for some people, I'm coming out of undergrad, but I do not want to go to school full time. I want to work somewhere and get some experience. Or people are saying, I want to change. I want to do what my heart desire is. I once in life, we have people here who been traveling musicians, who have sung, recorded albums, actors who've been in stage as well as movies and sitcoms. That's the one thing that I find about social work at Gwinnett is that I have met some people who you would not believe. We've got people who have been lawyers and still practice law, but yet I want to be a social worker. And so we're finding that a lot of people come into our profession, teachers, some of you online today here and attending may be already doing these things. They may be teachers. You may be working in nursing. You could be doing a whole lot of different things, but you decide, I want to be a social worker. So social work in the 3-year program, as you see it on the screen, that's the first year you take 3 classes. Now, if you can't do 3, we'll show you the 4-year in a minute. And then you take these 3 courses, which will be the human behavior and the social environment. And then we also have your first practice course, 7114, which is Foundation Social Work Practice with Individuals and Families. That when we talk about practice, this is where you really learn biopsychosocial assessment, family assessments, first beginning and learning about diagnosis. And we don't teach diagnosis that early, but you start to learn about diagnosis and how people are seen and what tools and some other things you may learn, learn about various general social work practice, because social workers don't only just do therapy, they also are resource developers and resource change makers. So you find that to be one of the things that as you work in the practice and you come to these classes, you will learn that some people have already done some of the work that you're learning about. The other course, again, is Proceeds, and this is a 3-hour one because it's different than the advanced standing. So it's a 3-hour credit one. But again, you're looking at 3 nights a week. And I'm not going to go over every course, but I've gone over quite a few. I do want to say the second semester in spring is driven around macro, simply because as a social worker, you must learn about working with communities and organizations, learn about policy, and we require research because we are research-based and driven. And then each summer you take electives of your choosing. And then before you know it, you're looking at your last year. And when you go, before you know it, I know I skipped over year 2, but year 2 is when you do 7115, which is your first field practice. And then 7125 is part 2 of that. So it's broken up into, you start out, and it is a class as well as a placement. So I do want to make that clear. And field placement is not optional. So even whether you're online or in person, that is part of Council on Social Work Education requirement. And ASWB, we must do field practice. That's why we have capstone. That's why you're evaluating and receive a grade. And I'm going to go ahead and talk about extended time 4-year just a little bit on the next slide. The difference in 3-year and 4 years, we reduce it down. So I'm still working. I got to have kids. I have a lot going on, or I'm helping take care of someone and I need more time. I really can't do 3 days a week from the beginning, but I can do 2. So this is that program of study. So it's the same courses. It's just spread it out over a 4-year period of time. Now, we'll tell you the difference is, and you can go to the next slide, you can do a block placement. So one of our students, we're actually doing it for the first time this year. The first time out of my 7 years being here, I have someone doing a block placement. She was a 4-year student. She works in a public school system. She was more than, I could say, gracious or blessed by her job, that they waited and allowed her to get to year 4 and said, we have an option for you that you can do a 10-hour block. A 10-hour block is 40 hours a week in a placement. She's using her new job that she got promoted to. So that's how she's doing it. She's doing it, still meeting the criteria, because we do allow you to use worksite placements as long as you're not doing the same job that you were doing every day. So that's what she was able to do. She got a 10-hour block, and so 40 hours a week, she's doing her new job that she has. So those are some options with field. We'll go to the next slide. I know y'all have a lot of questions about field, but again, it is not an option. Field education is the heart of social work, as it says there. It's our signature pedagogy and defined by the Council on Social Work of Education. So if someone tells you they got an MSW without doing field, they didn't do it in an accredited program. Field experience is both a blend of the classroom as well as real world. I am a field liaison this semester for the first time. I'm working with people who are in 7225, which is that 20-hour week field placement. And actually all my students are Athens students because I've worked with the Gwinnett students for so long. So I have all Athens students. And what I hear when I meet with them for their virtual field visit is they're happy, they're learning, they're growing. We have Piedmont Hospital where a lot of them are placed. We also have placements in domestic violence. And the students are happy, or advocacy centers such as child advocacy centers. Students are happy. But again, we use Tavera, which is a system that allows you to track your hours over your life. So once you pay your subscription to it through your book fees, you never have to buy it again, and you can have access for the rest of your life. The reason why they do this, because as you look for licensure in various settings, you may be required to verify, oh yeah, without having to reach back to UGA, you can go into Vera and print it out or send a PDF to that new employer or to that state board as you seek licensure. Journalist placements can be generalists, that's just it, is case management type placements. And then concentration placements have to do with your specialization. What do you really want to do? Where do you want to do the work called social work? And we try to place you. So if you say, I want to do it in a school system, that's where we place you. I want to do it in a hospital setting, that's where we place you. Recently, we've gained Atlanta Housing as one of our partners, and they also are paid placement. They have more versatile, a little bit better hours, so you can work not just necessarily during the day, but all the placements require supervision by MSW, who's postgraduate 3 years. All right, I'm going to go ahead on and turn it back over to Ms. Haynes.
So we also have some optional certificates. These, you can use your electives, basically, if you have a special area of interest, and you can specialize and get a marriage and family therapy certificate, a substance use counseling certificate, one in gerontology if you're interested in working with the elderly population, which is it's a growing field, and nonprofit management and leadership. So these are they're not required, but it's just a way for you to add a little bit to your resume while you're earning your MSW and kind of concentrate on specific areas of interest. I'm going to tell you a little bit about the application process. So how you apply is you have to fill out the graduate school application through the UGA graduate school. You can see that there are application fees there. They're set by the graduate school. We have a very limited number of application fee waivers. Since people have already started applying, I think we only have a few left. Those are under our MSW Admissions website. So the deadlines, the advanced standing deadline, if you already have a BSW, is January 1st. All other programs, it's February 15th, but you can go ahead and start your application and get the items in as you go. It's better to do it earlier rather than later in case there's like a holdup with transcripts or if you have any questions about it. So along with the graduate school application, there are requirements built into it from the School of Social Work. So you don't have to do 2 separate applications, but these are things that are going to be built into your graduate school application. We request an unofficial transcript. If you have an official one, we'll take it, but we only, during the application process, require the unofficial one, and after you are accepted, then we ask for the official one. 3 letters of recommendation, a narrative statement, and the guidelines for that are on our website. Your resume, which can include work experience, it can include volunteer experience, it can include training that you have completed or given if you're already a professional. We do not require the GRE or any standardized tests currently for our program. If you have GRE scores and they're good and you think they're going to boost your application, you can submit those, but they are not required. Here are our GPA guidelines. The advanced standing guideline is 3.2. For all the others, it's 3.0 for your undergrad. However, if you're close on that, there are exceptions to that. If you can explain why the GPA was lower, if it was maybe in an unrelated class to the major, or if there were exceptional things going on in your life at that time that can be explained, then we can write a letter of exception to the graduate school in certain cases. So if you're really close to the 3.0, I would say go ahead and apply. We take a holistic view of each applicant. We want to see that narrative statement of why we want to be a social worker, what are your passions, and that does go a long way. So some application tips: review and select the program first. As Professor Wooden-Smith mentioned, we are on a cohort model, so it's not like you can start in the Gwinnett program and end in the Athens program. You are going to be in the Gwinnett program if you select the Gwinnett program. So choose the correct semester or term. If you are an advanced standing student, you choose the summer semester, but for all the other programs, you're going to choose the fall semester. We don't start in the spring. So whenever you're doing your application for the graduate school, make sure you select the fall semester. Look at the MSW Admissions website for the narrative statement guidelines and have somebody review that statement. I have heard from the faculty members that review the applications that they do take the writing into consideration. They want to see that you're using APA format and that you're writing grammatically correct. So make sure you have that reviewed by someone who can help you with that. Check the graduate application portal for any outstanding items. So for example, if there's a letter of reference that hasn't been submitted, it will tell you that, and you can reach out to your references and make sure that those have been submitted. And if you are an international applicant, there are some additional requirements from the graduate school. So you can email me and I can send you the links to find out about those. So funding, I know everyone asks about funding. As I've said before, UGA does have an affordable program. There are different pools of funding. The graduate school has funding, the School of Social Work has funding, and then there's also outside scholarships you can find. So check all the different places for funding options. The graduate school website is here. They have their own scholarships. If you're an out-of-state student, you could have a tuition waiver to where you would have the in-state rate instead. And they have loans, student loans that are at the lower rates for the federal loans. And then the School of Social Work has funding as well. We have graduate assistantships, but those are typically not available on the Gwinnett campus because you have to be a full-time student to get them, and they're very competitive. But the funded training programs, the rest of these options are available. The funded training programs are you're agreeing to a work placement. So, for example, the Title IV-E Child Welfare Education Program is a federally funded grant program for the Department of Family and Children's Services. So, for every year of education that the Department of Family and Children's Services pays for, you're agreeing to work with DFACS for that amount of time. The Department of Behavioral Health and Developmental Disabilities has a funded training program. It's only available during your concentration years of placement, I believe. So it wouldn't be during your full term, but you could still use that training program, and then you would agree to work again with the Department of Behavioral Health and Developmental Disabilities after you're completed with your MSW for a certain amount of time.
And let me say this, the positive for that is that for most of you who want to get your LCSW, you have to have the supervision hours. And that's what comes with that. Not only do they give you a job after doing your field placement with them in your concentration, which is your specialization year, you also would get your first level of licensure because they require that. And then they give you supervision for free. And I don't know if you've ever talked to a social worker, but supervision is very expensive. It is not cheap. And it's hard to find people who will do supervision for you so that you can get your LCSW. So that's something I just wanted to interject about that placement option.
Thank you. There are some School of Social Work scholarships that are typically like the family member of a previous student, for example, might set up a scholarship fund in their name. So they're not typically covering the entire cost of tuition, and they're only available to apply for after you're already in the programs, but those are on our website. And we recently found out about the VA scholarship program for those interested in working for the Veterans Administration. As I said before, the social workers are a huge employment, a huge amount of employment in the VA. And so they have a program it's not affiliated with our school, but we know about it, that if you're interested in working with them, you could receive funding for your schooling. So I know that a lot of people are wanting more specific information about the funding opportunities, and we are going to have another information session that is just over the funding, because I'm not a funding expert. And so we're going to have the person come in from the Title IV-E, from the DHBDD grant, and from the graduate school financial aid to tell you specifics about those. But you can also find a lot of more information on our website. I'm going to show you, first of all, I'm going to show you this contact information. If you want to take a picture of this or take a screenshot of this, if you have any questions when we're finished, then please reach out. If you're going through the application and you have a question about like a transcript, Emma Mattox is her support person. She's not on here tonight, but she has been here for years and knows the application process in and out and can help answer questions. I'm happy to help answer questions, and Professor Wooden-Smith is great to ask any program questions or placement questions too. I am going to show you guys the website. so that you can see where the information that I was telling you about is located. This is our Master of Social Work website. You can see the admissions information if you click on admissions. You can see, this is where I was talking about, there's going to be a virtual information session if you want to register for that about financial aid. You can see the information for how to apply. A link to the application fee waiver is here, and all the different requirements are listed as well. Let me see. And then the deadlines are there, and I'm going to show you again, if you're under the MSW program and you want to see the information about the different financial aid, that's on the side as well. So I would just be sure to just review the website thoroughly. I'm going to thank everyone. Thank you so much, Professor Wooden-Smith, for attending, and thank you, Ms. Spears, for being here. Thank you for everyone who walked in, and we hope you have a good evening, and we will hopefully see you soon.